Yeah.
So you can buy a business, put a lot of money into it, get a bunch of loan, and then work on that business, and it still maybe can bring you money. Or you can start real estate with a very, very low entry fee, and then just have it blowing out for you. And it's been 11 years.
11 years.
11 years.
You see what determination looks like, guys? Like you people out there that want to sit on the couch and flip the remote and say, I can't find this, I can't find a job, I can't do this. This should be inspirational for you. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing today? It's Boo Jabbie here with AMP Lending, with Keeping It Real Now. We're changing things up here, guys. I'm interviewing the host of the show, my partner in crime, Danielle. And we're gonna do a podcast based off of her and seeing how she got into the business. So, Danielle, how are we doing today?
I am awesome. I feel so honored to be here today and be interviewed by the big and amazing Abu.
Yeah.
I feel so privileged.
Yeah, let's get it started. And we have our other co-host here, Mrs. Abby.
Mm-hmm. Abby, say hi. No, she don't want to talk.
She's gonna be
she
here.
Hi. She did.
She's going to be here. She's going to help us out as well. So, yeah. So, Danielle.
Yes, sir.
Just tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get into the business of becoming a realtor? What made you want to inquire in this lovely industry of real estate?
Wow. How did I get here? I think, to me, real estate fell into my lap, like literally. Okay. Because, as you know, I'm not from here. Mm-hmm. My accent will tell you. Mm-hmm. So I was born in Congo, Kinshasa.
Okay.
I am Congolese, Central Africa, for those that don't know.
Yeah.
And then my parents moved to France, and I was born in Congo and moved to France when I was 4. And then my parents, they have my brothers there. So I'm the most Frenchy Congolese that you know.
Yeah.
So, and then I was in college and I was studying finance. Mm-hmm. And my last year in my business school was to do an internship. So I came here to validate my master in finance because I had big dreams of becoming a trader and working in commodities and in energy. So that's why Houston came to place. Okay. So when I was here, I started working in different companies in finance and stuff like that. And then one day, one of my besties, one of my friends, who's my bestie today, Jamila, was like, "Hey, there is this broker who's looking for a host. If you want to make extra money on the side for open house in real estate." I was like, "Yeah, sure." I just got there. They hired me on the spot. I guess they really needed people because it was not really an interview. They say, "Oh, you want to come work? Okay, you have an accent. You don't understand everything. That's okay. Just come in.
Just come on.
You smart. That's enough to show our house."
Yeah.
So I got there, and then when I was there, a lot of people. I was talking about the house, talking about the product. I was doing good. People liked me. I was sending people back to the office. They were going when they would go there. They would ask about me. And some people thought I was a realtor. I kept saying, "No, I'm not a realtor. I'm just the host. I'm just talking to you about the house. I like it. It's fun. It's fun to just sit there and talk about a beautiful home, right?" And then few people came in, and a lady, she was a lawyer and a real estate broker. She walked in one day, and she's like, "Oh, you're not a realtor?" I say, "No." She said, "Man, you should be a realtor. You do have the skills. You know how to talk to people. You're pretty friendly. You know the product. That's all you need. Pretty much, right? So you should really think about getting your real estate license." But at that time, I was like, I was not there financially. I was working 100% commission in my other finance job. So I was just like, okay, well, I asked the broker, and then the brokers, I asked him, I said, "Hey, would you sponsor?" I just went boldly. I said, "Yeah, would you sponsor for a real estate license?" And he was like, "Oh, you want to be a realtor?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, okay, come on Monday, let's talk about it." And when I got on Monday, they say, "Okay, we're going to sponsor your license." So I really did not fight, right? Or they sponsor it. And I started full-time, no money in my pocket. And I just jump in right away. Okay. And then I learned, and And then I got my license fairly quickly. At first, I was telling them during the interview when we were talking about my license, I said, it may take me some time because I haven't, English is not my first language. I would have to get a license and stuff. But that was not my first license that I got here in the U.S. But I was just like, it may take me some time. I just want to give you, I knew it would not take me time because I'm a beast at testing. But I just wanted to give them a heads up in case it's taking too long and they'll be like, you need to leave, right?
Yeah.
So very quickly, I started in November, end of November, and end of February, I was licensed.
Okay.
And I was studying every single day, and I was coming also to the office. I was helping making calls. I was still doing the open house. I was learning as I was studying at that time. That was a good internship.
Yeah.
And then after that, then everything started. That's pretty much how I find it. And I really like it, right? I really fell in love because it's so fun. Before, I used to have jobs where I go 9 to 5 like everybody else, but it used to feel so weird in my stomach. Like I had that gut feeling like you wake up in the morning, you're not happy, you don't necessarily want to go there because, you maybe you have a boss that's telling you what to do every 5 minutes. I didn't like that. I always kind of being a free spirit, and I'm psychologically unemployable now. Well, I've been like that. But, and I always like to not talk back in disrespectful way, but if something's happening at work and I don't agree with it, I always like.
You're outspoken.
Yeah. You know that. Yeah, and then I would just tell. So I realized sometimes my personality and my way of being or moving will not necessarily fit in the regular corporate America. And on top of that, I just love people. Yeah. And I meet so many different people from different places, different orientation. I love helping people in general. And I like to find solution when somebody has a problem. I'm like, okay, well, what's the problem? Okay, let's figure out something. Yeah. And make it happen. Make it happen. Yeah. And that this career is exactly, I feel like it was made for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So you started out with that broker. How long were you with them?
Not long. I left fairly quickly. For everybody out there who's trying to find a brokerage company, is the environment where you're in is very important because I didn't feel supported. I didn't feel I was being helped because I was still new in the business. Literally, I was new in real estate, but also new in America in general. Yeah. And the practice, the way I did not know. And then the commission split between broker agent was way too high. When they say they're gonna sponsor my license, and they say you're gonna get your commission split, they told me 60-40. So guess who's 60? Guess who was 40?
Let me guess. The broker was getting 60. You were getting 40.
Yeah. That was a ripoff.
Yeah.
Like literally. They say you're going to be a 60-40 for every single transaction, which I bring the business, I don't bring the business, it doesn't matter. They were taking 60% of my commission. And how do you live on 16% of your commission when you're brand new, you don't necessarily know? You still have to put your mark and get a clientele base and all that, right? The little transaction that come in, you can survive out of it. Like, and then they say, sometimes some broker will tell you to give you lead, but pay attention which type of lead you're going to get, right? Yeah. And then if you send me, at that time, some rental used to be $600. So if the rental is $600, the commission, I get 50% of $600 or $700. You divide that by 2 is $350. Now you take 60% of it. What do I have? And at that time, I didn't have a full-time job. I didn't have no support. I was living by myself in an apartment. I didn't have mom, dad, no support, literally. Yeah. So it was very difficult. So I was like, man, I can't do this. Yeah. So unfortunately, after I got licensed, I left that broker fairly quickly. Okay. And I went to another broker, which was the best broker I had. And then that broker really taught me a lot. Like, he gave every Friday afternoon for 2 hours, he was training me, and we were having goals set for the next week. And then he was holding me accountable with everything. So coaching is very, very important for anybody that needs to start any type of business. I believe in coaching. I'm still in coaching today. I feel like you never stop learning and growing. And the market's changed so much. The people also changed. The way people used to communicate and do business 10 years ago when I started has nothing to do with today, right? 10 years ago, social media was not as big. Yeah. And then now it is. So you always constantly need to make sure you are ahead of what's going on the market, and not just the market, people and the economy and everything going on. So he was giving me 2 hours of his time every Friday, and I was sitting down with him, going over my goal, making sure I'm doing whatever I need to do, role play with me. He was helping me. Sometimes he would tell me some of the things that I needed to do. And he taught me, hey, go see all the top producer in the office and ask them if they have lead they don't want to deal with, because when realtor are very high level and they take care of a very high profile clientele, sometimes some of the leads that come with them are not interesting for them, right? So for me, it's amazing. It's a $200,000, somebody looking for $250,000 home.
Yeah.
But for them, they're dealing with 5, 7, $1 million, so they don't want to deal with that 250. So they used to give me that. And then I used to be like, hey, give it to me. I'll take care of it. We can do a split of 70-30. I'm giving 30% of my commission. I'm very happy because it's a great learning experience. And at least 70% of something is better than 100% of zero.
Exactly.
When you're at the beginning of this business. So I was learning like that. And I have plenty of, are you okay? You scare me.
Yeah.
And then I had plenty of top producers. They were giving me the business now because I asked them and I was cute. But they saw that I was hustling. I was there. The office used to offer what we call property time. Property time. So people call the office when there's listing coming up. So you can have maybe 4 hours open floor for you, and then when somebody called the office, they're gonna transfer the call to the agent on the floor. And then I used to be the agent on the floor often.
Yeah.
So there is a certain number you could not take during the week, but every single time it was open, I was just taking the spot. Yeah, because I'm not from here, right? When you're not from a specific city, I didn't grow up here. I didn't have a sphere of influence like most people. So leads is where you need to go, right? Because in this business, either you need to have leads. The one who has the most leads is the one who make the most money. So it doesn't matter how you get it. You can get it from friends, family, co-workers. You can get it, so use sphere of influence. You can go online. You can use social media. You can do open house and things like that. So every single weekend I was out there doing open house, Saturday and Sunday. And then I was on the floor getting the phone calls. And then I was asking top producer to give me the lead they didn't want to take care of it. Even if it was difficult, I didn't care. I just needed to learn and have things in the pipeline, because that's what my broker told me. You got to have things in the pipeline consistently, not just for real estate, in any business that you have and you're dealing with. And then he was telling me also be out there, be out there, meet people, do stuff that you like, and so you can meet people. So what I did is, even if I didn't have no money, I went and I got a gym membership.
Okay.
LA Fitness City Center.
Okay.
Because I was like, I want to find people, because I decided to think, okay, he told me you need to have an idea what's your favorite customer that you want to have, right? Not everybody is my customer. Not everybody will like me. Not everybody will want to work with me. And I've learned that, right? So, for example, most of my clientele right now, they're people that are married, professional, making a certain amount of money per year, because I craft that and I study what they want, what they need, where they're going. Yeah. And the reason why my client avatar is the way it is because of these people. Yeah. And I have 4 of them, right? So it's easier for me to work with somebody who already have kids. So if I'm saying, hey, I can't meet you at that time, or I have to finish work by that time because I have to go pick up my kids from school or daycare, whatever, they can relate, they can understand. So we usually work around their schedule and my schedule to make sure, okay, they will want to look at houses during the day when they're off, because they know they will not have to deal with kids and not have to pick them up. Yeah. Or we're going to work on the weekend. Or if I tell them, unfortunately, my baby is sick that day, like what's going on today, she's sick, so I had to take her with me anywhere I'm going today. But she's fairly good. No, I'm not a bad mom. She's fine. Yeah. She doesn't have no fever. She's not going to contaminate everybody. For anybody that trying to judge me out there.
No judgment
No
zone.
Judgment, please. But I'm taking, that's my clientele. So he taught me to make sure who I wanted to work with. So when I was younger, most of my customer and my client used to be young professional or people getting first-time home buyer. Kind of where I was at that time, that was my customer. And I grew with them. They bought their first home. I was there. Now they want to buy their first home because they have a couple of kids, and I'm helping sell that house, and then they're buying a new one, and then they want a new construction. So now I learned to focus also on new construction home, and which is what my customer want, you know. And then so I was doing that with him, and then so really my broker at that time, shout out to Ty, was the one who really helped me and taught me a lot of things, which put me in the way that my first year in real estate, I made 10,000, like all in, right? I lost my car that year, but I got my car back within 3 hours.
Within 3 hours. Tell us about that a little bit. How
So
did that happen?
So at that time, because I knew that I was getting asked, I decided to have a roommate. It was 3 girls. We live in an apartment together. That's a good way when you start a business and you don't necessarily have a lot of money. Roommate is a great way to go. Yeah. So if you don't have your family or parents in town, but if you're mom and dad, please stay at your parents' house the longest you can. Yeah. And so I have my roommate. And that morning, got ready as usual, go downstairs, look for my car. I was like, I have a good memory. I always park my car. I park my car here. Yeah. Where's my car? I started walking over the parking, and I realized my car was gone. But I knew that I was 2 months behind. And then and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make that payment, you know. But my car was gone. They towed it in the middle of the night. Yeah. So that was like, oh my God. So I started crying, right? I cried. I was like, oh my God, I got to America. Why am I suffering here? Because every week I have mom and dad telling me on the phone, your bedroom is still here. You can always come back. I wasn't telling my parents exactly everything I was going through because I was like, this is not, I don't want them to force me to come back. So, but they used to say all the time, your bedroom is here. We're here for you. And I was not asking them for money because then they knew I'm in trouble. Yeah. So, but then I started crying, and I was like, what did I get myself into? I had a job in France. I had everything lined up. Everything was easy for me, but I still decided to take the adventure and come here. What is wrong with me? Literally, right? For pursuing goals and dreams and all that. But now look at me now. I'm in Houston, Texas, the city with no sidewalk.
City with no sidewalk.
Now I don't have a car.
Yeah.
Because I used to walk at first when I came here. And one time I was walking in the grass and water sprinkler system started. I didn't have a car. I was like, oh my God. They don't have sidewalk in this city. Yeah. But anyway, so I was just like, oh my God, now I'm here in Houston. No sidewalk, no car. What am I going to do? And I'm supposed to be a realtor? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to quit. That was a split second. And then after I cried for 5 minutes, I say, okay, I cannot have a pity party all day. Did I say it right? A pity party? Yeah. Right? Okay, whatever. So and I was like, I'm not going to have a pity party all day. I'm going to get up and I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to get my car back. I say, I have a God out there watching over me. So I know he will never let me go through that. This is dangerous. I cannot be without a car. So then I took the bus. And I got back to the office and I went to see my broker. I said, look, here's what's happening. I have good news and the bad news. Do you want to start the good and the bad? I said the bad. I said the bad news is I don't have a car. My car got towed this morning. The good news is I'm working hard to be able to have commission. I'm asking if the company can help me out and then get my car back. Yeah. And then he looked at me and said, okay, so what do you have in the pipeline? And I'm like, as for about to close under escrow? It's like, yeah. I was like, nothing. And it's like, Danielle, I say, trust me, I always pay back my debt. I will pay you back. Don't worry about it. And then he looked at me. He knew me, right? Sometimes you see some people when they work the way they are, you're like, you can trust. So he gave me the check. I called my other bestie, shout out to Phoebe, and she picked me up and took me to get my car back. I paid it off, but guess what? That was in December. But guess what? That month, I got 2 buyers on the contract because I knew I had the fire to pay back that money. January, I got my first listing from a phone call for somebody who called the office. A person called and said, hey, I want to sell my house. He just called Property Time, and I was on the call that day.
There you go.
And he said, I want to sell my home. That was my first listing. Yeah. And then one of my friends called me and said, hey, Danielle, I'm ready to sell my home. So I put her house on the market.
Okay.
Another friend called me and said, I need to sell my home too. I had 3 listings within 30 days. And then in my January, I had business going on. I had buyers. Some top producer, one of them referred me a client. He was looking for a townhome that was her listing, and then she said, "Take care of this buyer because he also needs to buy." And then Abby, and then he said he needs to buy. So I met him, and I met that customer. I showed him the property. He did not like it. And then he said, "But I'm looking to buy more like Memorial area."
Yeah. That's the money spot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I helped him find a property that he bought. At that time, that property was $350. I believe there was a nice $9,000 commission check.
Ooh.
Then I put him under contract. And then that client is still my client today.
To this day.
To this day. I help him buy, sell, invest, buy, sell, invest. Not once, not twice, but a lot. Yeah. And guess what? Sometimes when people refer you business like that, they say, "Oh, take care of this lead. Just we split the commission on that one." But then you keep relationship with that person. You keep in touch with your past client, and then you pay that one-time referral fee, and that client is for you. It's for life.
That's for you.
And then, but then that year I made $90,000 in commission. So this is 2013. I made $19,000 in commission. But I was on 70-30 split. Knowing that a few months before, I lost my car. I only make 10. But the following years, I was able to bust that numbers. But all the work that I put in place that first 6-7 months was pay me off the following years. Yeah. And it was just amazing. I was like, oh my God, I don't see that many business that you can go in. Of course,
that type of return
on your investment. Yeah. Of course, it's sweat equity, right?
Yeah.
So you can buy a business, put a lot of money into it, get a bunch of loan, and then work on that business, and it still maybe can bring you money. Or you can start real estate with a very, very low entry fee, and then just have it blowing out for you. And it's been 11 years.
11 years.
11 years.
You see what determination looks like, guys? Like you people out there that want to sit on the couch and flip the remote and say, I can't find this, I can't find a job, I can't do this. This should be inspiration for you. We have a person in front of us that doesn't take no for an answer, that got it out the mud, and look at her now.
I'm so glad that I'm doing this because it gives me flexibility. Although I do put a lot of hours of work on the table, but I still have sometimes I'm like, okay, I can't work today because I have this going on with the kids. Or let me rearrange my schedule or my kiddo. And then when I'm done with them and I'm supposed to do what I need to do with them, I put them to bed, maybe catch up a little bit at evening. Or sometimes outsource some other things that I can do, right? Yeah. What I learned also in this business and by being a mom of 4 is I can do everything. Like, that's why I was like, okay, I have a TC, transaction coordinator. They help me. I do have VAs. They help me with my social media and my marketing. And then I have Alex over here recording all my videos.
Shout out to Alex.
Yeah, and doing all of that. And then sometimes I also hire Fiverr people to do all my editing. My job is to sell home, to meet people and talk on the phone. Yeah. Anything in between, and negotiate. And anything in between is not, I should not be worried about it, Yeah. And then I can't, if I do everything, it will be impossible. I'll be divorced today and my kids will be crazy. Yeah. So
you surround yourself around a great team.
Yeah, and I also have lenders like you who know what you're doing. And then so when you get somebody approved and I know we're moving forward. And if there is a problem, you're going to take care of it.
Exactly.
And then so it's very important to surround yourself with the right team. They're truly going to help you because success is not just you by yourself. It's also who you are.
Who you're surrounded by.
Yeah, your team is very, very, very important.
So with you having your own brokerage, how did that come about?
Oh my God, that broker story. I feel like it's so funny, sometimes the way God's work, every single time something happened to me is because I'm being pushed and get it done. You can do it, but you're sitting like, no, I'm comfortable.
You're put in a position to where you have to do it.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
So the reason why DBK Real Estate started is unfortunately my second broker didn't really appreciate, who helped me a lot. It didn't. We ended up not working as well. He chose different path where he realized he needed to close down his brokerage. So then I was left with go find another space to hang your license. So then I went to another big brokerage company, 100% here in Houston area, and I started working with them. But I was with them for just a year, and I was doing what I needed to do, and we came to a dispute with commission.
Yeah.
So long story short, let me make it simple for public out there.
Yeah.
So that was in 2017 during when we have Harvey. A customer contacted me because I sold a house in the neighborhood fairly quickly. And then she called me. She said, hey, I've been trying to sell my house for months. And right before, 2 days before closing, my house flooded during Harvey. And I could not sell it anymore. But I saw that you sold the neighbor's house who flooded fairly quickly. So I really need to get rid of this house. I've been selling it for over a year. I had 2 other realtors before, and nobody's able to. Now it's flooded. I even don't know what you could do, but I need you to sell it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So we run the numbers and stuff because the property flooded, because she still have a loan. I did a calculation in a way that the price that we have to have need to cover all the closing costs. And I wanted her to walk away with something, because it really hurt my heart that she was not able to sell it as high as she was supposed to, because she had a plan in making over $250,000 after the sale when the house was fine. But now that the property flooded, there's no way she could have made this money anymore. And I really felt her pain and what she was going through, because she was trying to move on with her life. She just came out of separation with her spouse. And I was like, okay, well, I did calculation. I put a price where all the closing costs will be covered. Broker fee will be covered. She'll still be able to walk away with some money. But we priced it in a way it will still be attractive for buyer. Not an investor, but a buyer who know the quality of the community and it will be willing to pay that price. And then I had a very extensive database. So every single time I have a new listing, I send my listing to my entire database. So one of the person in my database say, this email is not for me, it's for you. So I guess his friend who was a realtor or his wife. And then the lady was like, oh, okay, so I talked to her, we talked on the phone, and we were part of the same brokerage company. And then she went on and showed that property to her buyer, and right away I had her offer and 2 other offers. But her offer was the best. And then, but I put online, I'm not sure, please nobody sue me because I'm talking about commission, but I put that the commission was a certain amount. And then it was slightly lower than what most realtors see online, but it was still good. And then she emailed me and she said, oh, I'm not taking that commission that you put online. I want to have the regular 3%. And then I was just like, well, unfortunately, my client cannot do that. I explained her why. She has to cover her closing costs and loan, blah, blah, blah. So there's no way we can pay you that commission. And on top of that, it's not like you really work that hard for this house. You know, you were part of my database. You received the email and then you just show it and you're done. So, but I told her, if you think that your commission is more important, let me know, because I have 2 other offers, so we're gonna go with the other one, because we're not gonna change the commission, for that, unless you want to increase your offering price to cover that fee for yourself. She emailed me back. She said, well, that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and leave the commission where it's at, but I just want to let you know the rule of this brokerage, blah blah blah. I said, no, we're gonna go with what we put in the contract. Don't think anything about it. We move forward. We're about to close. And then the title company called me. And the title company, and that's why it's important to have your team, because my title company is part of my team also. And I'll be working with them. I do have several title companies that I recommend. And then, so I know them, they know me, we know how we work. And then my title company lady was like, hey, Danielle, your brokers changed your CDA, because I sent her a CDA, is a commission disbursement. She said, I received your commission disbursement a week ago, but your broker just changed your CDA. And it's 1% less. I was like, what? What do you mean? She said, well, the broker changed the commission. So I called the office manager. I said, why you changed the broker commission? And they say, oh, but in our office, the commission, you can pick and choose as a listing agent whatever commission you want to give. You want to negotiate with the seller, but you should not penalize the buyer for that number. And I'm like, this is insane. This is crazy. Which kind of rule is that? This is what's negotiated, and this is what I agree with the seller, and that's what he's willing to pay. The commission amount that the buyer agent will get was displayed on MLS. There was no surprise. So when she decided to submit her offer, and then the offer got accepted with that number, she knew what she was getting herself into. Why you broker, my broker, you getting yourself involved into this? Or she complained, because that's what we put in our rule. So I have to go by that rule. I say, but no, look at the situation. So I break it down to my broker. I say, look at the situation. Look at what happened. Look at the email exchange. So he say, okay. He says he's going to think about it. He's going to review everything, blah, blah, blah. Silence. We go to closing. They submit everything, but the commission went to the broker. And he still made a decision to go with her and give her that extra 1% so she can meet her 3%. And then they cut me and only give me 1%. I was very upset. I was extremely upset. I was not upset, not just for the money, for the principle.
Exactly.
You didn't give me, first, the broker didn't give me the courtesy to call me before changing my commission disbursement to the title company, first of all. Second of all, you made that decision. You even didn't give me an explanation why you did that. So I felt like, hold on, I've been in this company for about a year. I'm a closer. I close every month. You guys are making money from me. I even don't have no respect. So I felt very like, oh my God, I can't work in a team and in an office like that, you know? And then no courtesy call, no explanation. You just make the decision like that. And I'm like, I didn't join and decide to become a real estate agent to be treated like that. Exactly. You know, the independence, I make my own and stuff like that. It wasn't working in that aspect. So I was very, very upset. Yeah. And I told him. And then, but luckily not lucky, but a few months ago, I was working on my broker license. Mm-hmm. I started at first working on it, and I stopped because I was in the middle of making babies. Yeah. But I stopped because my husband was trying to go back to school. So he was studying, I was studying. It was too many studying going on. And we had 2 babies in the house at that time. My third one wasn't there. And then, so I was like, I'm going to wait. And I'm going to give you time, finish up and study to be able to start your MBA. And I'm going to start back after. So then I got my, when I start back, I got my broker license probably in, that was February. I got my broker license. Mm-hmm. And then that happened in March. And I was very upset. And my husband was like, why don't you just go on your own? Now you're a broker. You can work on your own. You don't need nobody. Mm-hmm. You know, you're paying all these fees for what? Mm-hmm. And clearly you're ready. You know what to do and what the broker is doing for you. Does he pay for your marketing? No. Does he give you training? No. Does he call you every week and hold you accountable? No. Do you have any kind of support? No. Okay. Why don't you just do it by yourself? Yeah. I was like, yeah, but I don't know. And a lot of people scare you when you try to become a broker. Oh, don't be a broker. You have a lot of liability against you. It is true. There is liability. But everybody scare you. Don't do it on your own, right? And I was like, well, I don't know if I'm really ready. I don't know if I'm ready to have a team. I don't know all of that. It's a lot of I don't know. Mm-hmm. And then but when that happened, I was so mad.
That's what skyrocketed.
I was like, I'm done. I'm gonna go on my own. And I'm not necessarily going to try to become the big broker in town. Yeah. I just want to be on my own and start doing my own things because I'm just tired of people making promises and not fulfilling them. Yeah. So I'm going to just go ahead. And when that day, the manager of the office called me, she said, Danielle, I have your check. He came to a decision. The broker of the company came to a decision. And I got there, I saw the check number. She felt so bad. She said, "I'm so sorry. I love you. I love having you here. I don't want you to leave." Da, 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 da. I said, "You know what? It's not your fault. It has nothing to do with you. So I'm not mad at you. I'm just not happy with him." And today's my last day.
Yeah.
I'm out. Took my check and I created my brokerage, and I started working April 1st, 2018.
Good for you.
2018, April 4th, 2018. I've been by myself ever since. By myself. Well, I have a team now, but you know.
So you have a team now. You started your brokerage. So what is it that you love about being a realtor?
I just love the talking to people. I love the problem solving. I love negotiation, going back and forth.
I can see that. yeah, I can totally see that.
You know, when the person's like, "No, we're not going to give you that price," and I still can get more for my customer than what it expected, and then help people. And that feeling that you have when the person gets to the closing table, they finally sell their home and they move to the next step. Because residential real estate compared to commercial, I feel like commercial, there's no feelings, no emotion in there. It's just structure, it's just transaction numbers. If the numbers make sense, you go. If it doesn't make sense, you let it go. But residential real estate, and I love it because emotion are involved. You know, I'm always you have to be calm as a real estate agent. I'm always the person who's really, really, really calm, and I try not to panic if I know the situation can be panicky. And my client, they're like, "Oh, you're so calm." Yeah, but in the back of my head, I was like, "Oh my God," you know. But they're like, "You're so calm." Yeah, I have to be calm. Somebody needs to be calm because if you panic, we all the boat's gonna sink.
Exactly.
So I just love that. I love problem solving. I love reading the stuff. I love resolving. I love helping. And then that feeling that people have at the end is the best feeling that. When they're so happy, and some people I start working with them maybe 2-3 years. I have a family, they contacted me 4 years before they were about to buy. Every year I keep in touch with them, keep talking to them, checking on them, see how they give them market update, tell them new idea, tell them about the new product, what's going on. They say, we're gonna buy one day. Don't kick us to the curb. I said, no, I would never. And then 4 years later, they were ready. They bought the house. They moved in. So happy. You know? And then some people is just, unfortunately, they have separation happen because I'm a divorce specialist now. Sometimes it's separation. Sometimes it's just, hey, we have a new baby. We need a bigger place. Sometimes it's, we just got married. We need a place now. So these be part of somebody's moment. It's very gratifying. I don't know. Did I say the word right?
No, that's it. Yeah, gratifying. Yeah,
gratifying.
Yeah,
gratifying.
But no, definitely. So you already personally have those qualities within yourself. So then it's like you're working for free because you already naturally care, right?
Yeah, because literally I wake up every day at 4 or 5 a.m. I don't need an alarm clock. I just on the dot up. My eyes open. Then I sleep at midnight, 2 a.m., whatever. I'm awake. I'm happy every day. I don't see that as a job. And I just have fun. I just meet new people. I try to do the new things that are on the market, to market different, to think, how can I sell this better, meet people better, talk to people better, give gift. You know, like earlier today, I went to the store. I was buying a bunch of cups for the fall. And grateful because I'm going to give that away for my next open house and stuff. And then when I go and I meet people, I give them stuff, they're so happy. I just like make people happy, I guess.
No, for sure. You like to put smiles on people's faces. Huh? Yeah. And the one thing that I love about Danielle, I've been working with her for about 6 years now. I'm going to give you your flowers.
Okay.
Yeah. With Danielle, she goes above and beyond for her clients. If you want Danielle to represent you on an actual real estate transaction, you're definitely going to get what the money pays for because she's going to go above and beyond her call of duty to make sure that everything goes exactly correct with the transaction. And for me, you made a big difference within my life as far as just getting me outside of the box. Boo, you need to market. Boo, you need to talk to your boss then. Figure out some other programs that y'all can have so we can get clients qualified for us. So I want to tell you thank you for that as well. And I just see big things for you just moving forward, man. You're totally awesome. I see how you are with your husband, with your kids. Awesome mom. Just keep it going.
Yeah, the goal is to build legacy as we having fun.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So on the realtor side, like you deal with buyers, you deal with sellers. What are the difference between those two transactions? I'm not going to ask you which one you like the most. But.
Well, I like both. I like selling, finding different ways to market the property, to attract people, to sell it better, to provide. When you're a seller, you do have a lot of selling closing costs that come with it, right? Mm-hmm. So oftentimes the closing costs for a seller can go somewhere between 8 to 10%. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm trying to make sure that 8 to 10% is worth it, right? That I start offering partial staging or sometimes full staging, and then my seller don't pay for it.
Yeah. So you cover all the costs.
I cover that cost. Okay. I cover
that seller.
I cover the cost of making sure they have pictures, videos, and things like that. So when you sell, it's just a question of making sure the house, the product you put on the market is sellable. Okay. So I also give a lot of advice to clients. Sometimes they ask me, hey, I need to renovate this and this. Should I not? I do that also with them. Tell them which color, which style they should go, how the house needs to look to be able to be ready for the market. Okay. Also, I'm very good at pricing property. I'm the queen of pricing. Okay. And then, so it's very, very important. So whatever you decide to sell your home, you have to be in touch with what's going on in the market. Some people, they like to say, oh, let me price my house a little higher and to give me room for negotiation. No, price it where it needs to be. Because if the buyers are smart, all information are online now, right? Mm-hmm. You click on the button, you see how much your home really worth. So if you're supposed to sell the house $250,000 and you say, let me put $270 because I want $20,000 room for negotiation, the buyer knows this house worth $250. You're gonna sit, especially now with 7% interest rate. So it would be better for you to just sit down with your real estate agent, really talk about the price, and then see. And then also you, seller, before you go, try to calculate how much you really need and how much you're trying to get out of it before really put on the market. If you realize you will not make the money that you really want from the sale of your home, maybe it's not time for you. If you have that opportunity, maybe it's not time for you to sell yet. Yeah. Wait a little bit. Sometimes I tell some client, I say you should not sell the house right now. Yeah. Wait a couple of years. You will have you recoup your money that you invested, or because you did so much renovation and now you say, oh, I think maybe I should cash out. No, it doesn't always work like that. So that's where being honest, true, and direct with your client is very important. And then on the buyer side is also get all your ducks in a row. Make sure you're truly ready, right? Check. Yeah. Don't necessarily say, oh, my lease will be over in 2 months. Let me go ahead and start looking for a house. No, start 6 months. Even if you're not necessarily ready to buy in 6 months, but just the fact that you have the thought of it, that's where you need to contact your realtor and your lender, and just so they can look what's going on in your finances. So you can prepare, because sometimes people think they're perfect. No. I do have the income. I have perfect credit. But hold on, you do have a lot of debts. Yeah. Look at what's going on with the student loan. Yeah. One time they say, hey, all the student loan will be forgiven. Yeah. And then you hear the Supreme Court say, no, it's not going to happen, right? So this is kind of the things you really need to think about in advance. Sometimes you co-sign for people. Sometimes people steal your identity. You have no idea what's going on in there. Sometimes you do not have the perfect credit and you didn't know. So all of that, if you just thinking, even if you just sign your lease today, September 1st, for example, and then you're like, oh, I just signed my lease. I'm going to buy a house in a year from now before my lease expires. No, today, call your lender. Yes. Today, let them assess your financial situation. Let them pull your credit, take a look, and they'll tell you and give you all the steps, what is missing, what you need to do in advance. Because you don't want to miss the mark. Some people wake up a little late when the rate for 2%, 3%, they missed it because they're not ready, because they didn't think maybe they could buy a home in the future. Exactly. So now the rate at 7%, and you're like, when the rate were at 3%, they say you need to work on it. Yeah. So a year later, the rate at 7%, now you want to buy, and you realize you can't afford anything because those those mortgage payments are so high, and not the mortgage payment, the interest rate are high, but also the property tax are higher.
Property taxes is one of the major things.
Insurance too are going up.
Everything is going up.
Everything is going up. Inflation is there. Not just for the milk you buy every day.
For everything.
But for everything. So really think through it. Like, if you know you're thinking about it, talk to a team today. Yeah. It doesn't, talk to a professional, not your uncle down the street who thinks about real estate.
Yeah, I think you can buy.
Yeah. Talk to a real professional. Just have the information. Sure. My uncle used to always tell me the difference between super rich people and poor people is the information. They know things that you don't know.
Exactly.
So the minimum you should do is get information about yourself, at least, Yeah. And then, so that's pretty much the main difference. Even sometimes for seller, you may put your home on the market, but then where are you going to go? Yeah. You also probably sometimes need to think about, do I need to qualify to buy another home, right? Exactly. So things of that nature. Talk to a realtor 6 months to a year before you decide to move. Yeah, that will help you.
That's good. We've learned a lot. So moving forward, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was about to talk to you about representation.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
So representation. So in Europe, the way it works in Europe, real estate is very, very well thought here in America. You guys are spoiled. Like buyers have a representation.
Like she's not
sellers have a representation. Most transactions are happening between real estate professional. So you guys are really spoiled and blessed, especially if you find a great realtor. They know what they're doing. They can really represent you and negotiate for you, understand contract and things like that. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of the knowledge, because buying a home, like somebody called me the other day, the person bought a home that didn't really have representation. The inspection report was so bad, but the lady wanted the house so bad she didn't think about asking anything to the realtor. And then the person who helped her was her coworker who sell 2 houses a year. So most likely they didn't go over the inspection report. Now the lady moving to the home, and the home is catastrophe. The AC is not working, the plumbing is leaking, everything is falling apart. This is an older lady, and then now she put all her money into this house, and now the house is falling apart. Now she wants to get out, but if she get out, she would have to do a short sale, because there's no way she can sell it, turn around and sell it within 3 or 4 months. She will not make no money, so all her money will be lost. So having representation is really, really, really important. Don't be just the buyer who go and walking into an open house and not open house or a builder. And you want to negotiate directly with them. Great for you. You think you negotiate, you have a deal, but they will not tell you what they know. Yeah, exactly. Because the salesperson with the builder represents the builder. He's looking out for the builder. He's not looking out for you. He's going to tell you what you need so they can get you on the contract. The real estate agent that you see sometime at the open house, if it's the listing agent, most of the time, what they're going to do, they represent the seller mainly, right? If you didn't sign a buyer's representation with them, they will just give you material fact, like the regular disclosure, but they'll not tell you the deep details. And they also have more knowledge that you don't know. And then what's going to happen, you end up to have a contract that you sign, you bind it, and it's not working for you anymore. So but now there's a lawsuit going on because a lot of sellers feel like the co-op where the two broker agree for a commission price, and oftentimes in a listing agreement you will have the listing agent will charge a percentage, and is going to give a percentage of the commission charge to the seller to the buyer agent. And then we displace that commission amount in MLS, and then seller oftentimes will pay for it. So sometimes you hear realtors say, hey, if I represent a buyer, if I represent your buyer, you will not pay no commission. But the reason why is because they will collect that from the seller. But now a lot of sellers have been mad and feel like it's unfair for them. So they're suing, and they want to kind of abolish
Okay.
this situation right now. It's not passed. We're still waiting, and I'll be watching that and see how this is going to go. But what I realize is if this go away, it's going to be now the responsibility of the buyer to pay his real estate commission. A lot of buyer, between getting the money for the down payment, the closing costs, and then furniture and moving, they usually don't have that much.
Yeah.
And then most people buy home between $250,000 to $300,000, so their income are not that high.
Exactly.
You know, so with that said, what's gonna happen is a lot of people, they'll be like, I can't pay a realtor to represent me, so they're gonna start to represent themselves. And what's gonna happen is a lot of people will be screwed.
Yeah.
We see that a lot in Europe. People not necessarily don't have representation, and they realize they made mistakes into their contract and what they get themselves into. Buyer don't have a representation because they don't have the money to pay a realtor, the realtor fee. You know, the seller oftentimes they will hire an agency to represent them and then sell their property, but the buyer oftentimes don't. But here it's gonna happen is a lot of people, if they don't have representation, will be, you know.
Now we're praying that it doesn't go through. So it's something that came out. Let's see, to be continued how it works out at the end.
Yeah, just let's keep watching.
It would definitely be a game changer. So.
It would be a game changer for seller because their fee will go down, but for the buyers, that your fees will go up. Somebody needs to pay somebody. And then also what I feel like is they're going to also change the way we do business. Now we're probably going to have less realtor on the market available, to work with buyers. It's going to make it a little bit harder.
It's going to make it harder.
For realtors, especially the one that don't have a lot of experience and they don't know how to market, they don't know how to prospect, they don't know how to find customer, to be able to work with buyers or sellers.
Yeah. So we'll be on the lookout for that. But moving forward, where do you see yourself with DBK Realty within the next 5 to 10 years?
I see DBK Real Estate as an international company. That's my big vision.
Okay.
I would like to be able to. I'm Congolese background. So I would like to have agency there. I would like to have agency in France, and I would like to have offices here in the States. Okay. So I see myself as an international company, and then with a good team. I'm not looking to have like 200 agents. Yeah. I'm just looking to have quality, professional agent. They know what they're doing. They can close. Everybody making over 6 figure. Yes. They can help tons of family doing their business the best and the right way. Okay. That's my big vision.
Okay. We're going to talk into existence. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Especially coming from you, a person that doesn't accept no as an answer. So if people want to get in contact with you, how can they get in contact with you?
So you guys, I'm in every social media, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Every social media.
So it's Danielle BK Real Estate for Instagram, Danielle Bilumbu for Facebook, DBK for Facebook. Okay. You also have Danielle Bilumbu on LinkedIn. I have my channel on YouTube.
Okay.
And what else am I forgetting? I'm sure I'm forgetting one of them. I have TikTok also.
Okay.
Danielle BK Real Estate. And then, so I'm all the social media. And then not all of them, but the big one. And then 832-475-1627 is my cell phone number.
Okay.
And then I'm looking forward to work with you.
No, most definitely. So thanks for all that information. I know the public's got to get to know you a little bit better as well. Definitely subscribe and complete another episode. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.